So we all get random thoughts that pop out of nowhere and surprise us. Some of mine are kind of crazy. Yesterday, we had a show at the PAC, the Performing Arts Center here in town. We have a contract to provide hot and iced coffee there for the people who attend the shows. And as I'm driving, I'm like, huh, I wonder how many beans, individual beans, are in one 132 pound bag of coffee. I think the reason I thought of it was because my back hurt a little bit. And I remembered trying to lug those 132-pound bags off the pallets onto the into the warehouse, and anyway, that's probably why that came from. But you know, a lot of times we have these random thoughts and we don't necessarily follow them through. We just kind of go, doesn't really matter. I followed this one through, and what I found out was that there are approximately 600,000 coffee beans in one 132-pound sack or bag, which means that there are approximately 4,545 coffee beans in a pound of coffee. And I continued to follow this through, and I thought, all right, well, let's apply that to one country. And I thought of Brazil, probably because our current origin of the month is that Brazil Jazz Blue Peaberry. So I thought, okay, let me apply this to Brazil. Brazil's total coffee production for 2025 or 2024-25, that's July through June, is forecast at 69.9 million 132-pound bags. So I did some math. 600,000 beans per bag times 69.9 million bags equals 41,940,000,000,000 coffee beans forecasted to be harvested in Brazil in 2025. 41,940,000,000,000 coffee beans. I decided I was going to continue this train of thought, and I thought, well, I wonder how much of that is Robusta and how much of that is Arabica, because most people drink Arabica. We have some great Robusta coffees, and they're really good. Robusta tends to have a bad reputation, but it's all good coffee. So Arabica then. Arabica production in Brazil in 2025 is expected to reach 48.2 million bags. Have to do more math. So doing the math again, 600,000 beans per bag times 48.2 million bags equals 28,920,000,000 Arabica beans expected to be harvested in Brazil in 2025. All right, so what percentage of the total then is Robusta? Well, Robusta production is forecast at 21.7 million 132-pound bags. Have to do more math. So 600,000 beans per bag times 21.7 million bags. I'm sorry, hang on. 600,000 beans per bag times 21,700,000 bags equals 13,020,000,000,000 Robusta beans expected to be harvested in Brazil in 2025. That's crazy, people. That's crazy. And then I thought, well, how much coffee is that in pounds? So let's look at the total production first. 69.9 million total bags times 132 pounds equals 9,226,800,000 pounds of coffee beans expected to be harvested in just Brazil alone in 2025. So how about Arabica then? 48.2 million Arabica bags multiplied by 132 pounds per bag equals 6,362,400,000 pounds of Arabica coffee beans expected to be harvested in Brazil alone in 2025. Let's look at Robusta too, because that's part of the picture. 21.7 million Robusta bags multiplied by 132 pounds equals 2,864,400,000 pounds of Robusta beans expected to be harvested in Brazil in 2025. And then I thought, well, hell, how many pounds of beans does one coffee tree produce every harvest? Well, the average coffee plant has an annual yield of 1 to 2 pounds of roasted coffee, which is equivalent to nearly 4,000 cherries. And remember, inside each cherry, there's usually 2 beans. So that's 8,000 beans. Now, assuming that none of the beans in the 132-pound bag are pea berry, where only 1 bean forms inside the coffee cherry. So 600,000 beans per bag divided by 8,000 beans per tree equals 75 trees. So to just fill one 132-pound bag with raw coffee beans requires the harvest from 75 coffee trees. I bet you didn't know that. So remember, they're expected to fill 69.9 million 132-pound bags. And at 75 trees per bag, that equates to 5,242,500,000 harvestable coffee trees in Brazil in 2025. To me, that number just kind of blew my mind. It's like, well, how many trees are in Brazil anyway? How many total trees? So I looked that up too. Turns out there are 302 billion trees, total trees of all kinds in Brazil, which means that of the 302 billion trees in Brazil, only 1.7% of them are coffee trees. Now you know.